The Gynecologic robotics program, such a big word, in the Philippines has set a benchmark in Southeast Asia, becoming the fastest growing program of its kind in the region. Established at St. Luke's Global City in 2011, it has paved the way for advanced robotic assisted surgeries, offering patients innovative and minimally invasive solutions. Recognized for its outstanding achievements, the program has been led by experts who have performed the highest number of gynecologic robotic surgeries in the country, contributing to its remarkable success. Now, this milestone reflects the dedication to advancing women's health care through cutting-edge technology and exceptional medical expertise. To tell us more, we have Dr. Rebecca Singson, obstetrician and gynecologist via Zoom. Good morning, Dr. Rebecca Singson. It's a beautiful day.
Yes, indeed. Good morning to all of you and to all our viewers.
Now, Doc, so we were just talking about Wicked early this morning. The Wicked craze is still within us. And as you know, the Wizard of Oz, he operates behind a robot. So when I heard about robotic obstetrician, I don't know if I said that right, that's what I was imagining, that you're behind a robot operating. So tell us more, what is robotic surgery? Am I correct?
Yes, well, it actually utilizes the help of a robot in order to perform the surgery to make it so minimally invasive. And it's not the robot doing the surgery, but it's actually the person behind the robot doing the surgery. So don't be scared that the robot is going to run amok, because it's not going to move unless the surgeon moves it.
Doc, of course, we're seeing more and more robotics come into healthcare, come into surgery. When did you personally start to use this technology? And of course, what were the things that you had to get used to with regards to using the robot instead of actually using your own hands on the skin of the patient?
Yeah, well, there are very important skills that you need in order to be able to perform robotic surgery. And one of them, believe it or not, is gaming.
Really?
Because you should never stop a child from gaming, because it's one of the skills they're going to need in the future. Spatial orientation is so important, because you're going to be working with levers, same things you use for gaming. And you're going to use those to control the instruments that are inside the patient's abdomen. So you need to imagine this positioning in space and be able to perform the surgery while looking at the three-dimensional camera. So you need, of course, also to know the basics of surgery. I mean, all obstetrician gynecologists know how to do that.
Doc,
Right?
you just gave inspiration to all of the kids playing Mobile
Gamers, yeah, all
Legends
the
right
gamers.
now.
Yeah.
Na-excite sila bigla. Mom, I'm practicing to become a surgeon right now. But Doc, you mentioned the spatial awareness. Is that a bit different compared to the spatial awareness that you do need without the robotic surgery? Because some people might be confused with regards to the type of awareness necessary with regard to conducting the surgery.
Oh, you know what? The audio is a little bit garbled, so you're going to have to talk more slowly.
Okay.
Are you asking me, is the spatial orientation you use in gaming the same as the one in robotic surgery?
Yes, somewhat that way.
Okay. Actually, of course, the big difference is what you're doing inside. But really, I swear, performing robotic surgery is like a game, in the sense of a child, no? Because you have certain goals, you have to cut certain ligaments and certain vascular structures, blood vessels. So you have goals to achieve, and then you do it in such a way that you are actually, well, in our hospitals, we're like 5 meters or 10 meters away from the patient. So we are remote from the patient. We are not beside the patient. So in fact, it has been done that the surgeon was in New York and he performed a gallbladder surgery where the patient was in Paris. So this is in fact uh, how the technology was developed, because the military infused the money so that they could develop this technology, thinking that one day a patient or a soldier in the battlefield could be operated on with a surgeon not having to risk his life to be there
Right.
with that patient. You know, you could be in another place, safe, and the patient is being operated on remotely. So that's exactly how this technology goes.
Doc, this technology is so amazing, and I'm just so curious. How long did it take you to train doing this? Because I imagine it's gonna be a lot of, it's gonna take a lot of patience, right, and a lot of practice. Because I've seen like the doctor games where you do, you try not to like hit the parts and it like vibrates. So obviously I can't be a doctor, that's why I'm here. But how much training did it take for you to get to this stage?
Well, okay. I have been doing laparoscopic surgery since 1993. Okay, so I'm kind of used to being able to perform surgery in a limited space using tiny instruments. So to move up to robotic surgery, the only thing I had to learn was how to use the machine. Of course, I'll explain later the differences between laparoscopic and robotic surgery. But in answer to your question, the gynecologists can shift from being an open surgeon to a robotic surgeon by learning how to perform surgery using the machine. You just need to understand the controls of the machine, and you know that just takes 4 days. And then you can do a live surgery with an animal.
Wow.
And as long as you know how to do that, as long as you know the basics of surgery, you're just going to translate it using different instruments in a smaller scale. And we just need to learn how to use the machine.
You know, Doc, of course, before any treatment, you have to explain the pros and cons to the patient, right? So that they know
Yes.
their options. So what are the pros and cons of robotic surgery? What are the advantages of this kind of surgery over the traditional open surgery?
Okay. Wow. Really great advantages. Okay. Like, imagine if you have a watermelon sized myoma. Okay. If you were going to do an open surgery, how big would your incision be? It would have to be bigger than the watermelon, right?
Right,
It's
right.
almost it's almost like you cut the patient in half, to be able to remove that huge mass, right? So imagine what the consequences are for that patient. The big scar, the ugly scar. She can't wear a bikini if she's a girl. The possibility for infection with the huge incision. The pain, imagine how much painkiller she's going to need. The recovery time. When can she go back to work? Plus, after when that wound heals, the adhesions inside, because the intestines are going to attach to wherever that incision is, and it's a harder recovery. You can't even get bowel obstruction. But with robotic surgery, our incisions are zero point 0.8 centimeters.
Wow.
Wow.
In the umbilicus, it's zero point 0.8, or if the surgeon chooses 1.2 centimeters, that's also possible. So, I've removed huge myomas with very tiny incisions. And even the most difficult surgeries I've done, like I did one banker, it was so difficult. She had a huge myoma, two ovarian cysts that were kissing each other. She had two previous surgeries, so there were a lot of adhesions inside. I did her on a Friday, and she went back to work on a Monday.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's right. Yeah. In fact, if I may say so myself, I just underwent a minimally invasive surgery. I ended up with an appendicitis last Friday. I
Oh
had
my
an
gosh.
appendectomy,
Okay.
of course, minimally invasive, and I I ended up going home in 8 hours. I slept in my own bed, and today's Monday, and my surgery was Friday, so I'm going to the clinic.
Doc, you look great for someone who had
Yeah.
an appendectomy. If I do say so myself. But we talk about the applications of robotic surgery. I know we're talking about gynecology, but can you tell us about how other fields have been using this as well? Because you're mentioning that this is not just for gynecology, this is also for other fields.
Yes. Well, for prostate cancer, this is the gold standard to do robotic surgery. Why? Because you are able to preserve the continence of the man after you remove, when you do an open surgery for prostate cancer, you can end up destroying the nerves and the blood vessels, which are supplying the very basic functions of a man, his erection and holding his urine. So with robotic surgery, you're able to hold that better. Also with open heart surgery, they're doing this minimally invasively, robotically, even removal of the thyroid, no more huge scars here. They go through the axilla, so the scars are hidden. ENT surgery, lobectomies, even lung cancer, yes, even, well, many urologic procedures can be done robotically.
Now, Doc, I'm also very curious. This is super amazing to me. What is the cost difference? So, for example, I want to have surgery, and I'm like, I want to do robotic surgery. What's the cost difference of that versus human done surgery? Open surgery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we do have packages in the hospitals where robotic surgery is offered. So the package is around, maybe, depending on type of room, it can be anywhere from 600 something thousand to about 800 something thousand. So an open surgery maybe would be around 350 to 400,000. So yeah, it would be double, but my goodness, the recovery
Yeah.
is,
Yeah, yeah.
there's just no comparison. It's really amazing.
Doc, we talked about all these advantages, and it's really amazing, this technology, right? But are there certain medical conditions where you cannot recommend robotic surgery?
Well, for advanced cancers, it's a bit controversial now whether we should use robotic surgery for cervical cancers, because so there's some schools of thought that think that you can spread the cancer if you do it robotically. Although you know what, in the big cancer centers, Sloan Memorial Kettering in the U.S. and Karolinska Institute in Sweden, they still do everything robotically.
Okay.
So this is still an area of controversy. So you have to discuss it with the patients. If whatever you and the patient come up with, especially in these borderline cases.
Right.
Thanks so much, Doc Rebecca Singson, for joining us this morning. We learned a lot, and I'm so amazed by what you do. Can you tell our viewers where they can find you if they have more questions about this?
Yes, I'm in St. Luke's, Global City, room 305. And I'm also in Makati Med in room 381, as well as Asian Hospital Medical Center in room 202.
Doc, thank you very much for joining us this morning. You've given so much hope to all of the gamers out there, for giving them reasons to tell their parents, I am training to become a doctor by learning the spatial awareness. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
You're most welcome. Thank you.